And then you want to give me some story about how what? Oh, well, 16-year-old, she was dating a year-old. That's messed up. And you did the same thing. With and then you want to tell me you took a polygraph. There's no polygraph in here. You want to come out and tell us the truth? Huh? So I go back to your daughters that you abused? Let them know, you know what, he's sorry. He apologized. They're your daughters, bro. One's had to see therapy, they all hate you. How do you want to work it?
You have no idea what I did. When they found her down here with in a hotel room being molested.
Who's
How come you don't know that?
well, who is
You know
he?
all this shit, but you don't know that.
No one's told me about it.
He's the guy that was convicted for molesting her.
No one's told me about it.
Imagine
So
that.
tell me about it.
Imagine that.
Tell me about it.
So you don't know everything, do you?
No.
No.
But now you can give me something to follow up on.
I'll tell you what you do know about that much of a story that's that deep.
Well, tell me about it so I can get that high up.
Alright, fill this in. I mean,
Moved in with after I moved out, ostensibly as a babysitter. He developed a, now keep in mind that this occurred after I got out of jail this last time.
Okay.
So it was 04, somewhere in there.
Okay.
I forget what happened. She had some other guy living there with her, just there as the babysitter.
Do you remember his name or anything like that?
no,
No, not
the
the
other
other,
guy.
the other guy.
Married to him, you can ask her.
Okay.
Okay. And I had a relationship with at that point, a good relationship. We did things together with her other siblings along.
Mm-hmm.
Never had any issues. But as came in, she began to get more and more distant. And I had conversations with about this. And she just said, oh, well, she's a kid, you know, let her do whatever she's going to do. And it got to the point where I confronted and told him that I thought he was a child molester and that he was doing something with. He denied it. I asked her. She denied it. At that point, I was cut off completely. No more contact.
Okay.
All right. Pasadena PD picked up, they had some kind of fire at the house, and I'm getting no information about it all from her mother. I was cut off from everything. Pasadena PD, they had a fire, and they were all staying at a hotel. Pasadena PD rolled through the hotel, running plate numbers, came up with somebody had a warrant. They went and knocked on the door, they found in bed together.
How old was
Late.
How old was when this happened?
2004, you said?
In 04, 05, he's convicted. He's on the sex offender list. Funny, nobody mentioned that to you.
No.
Well,
So then this is part of why we're talking, because
no, what
You
you're
have
what
more
you're talking to
insight.
me to is to try to get me to trip up because you're trying to build a case. I know what you're doing. I got it. Okay? The fact that you're going back so far is suspicious, but whatever. You're going to do what you're going to do. Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, like, as of what we see now, if no one, you know, nobody ever saw justice or they were abused, no matter how far we go back, don't you think people kind of deserve justice?
But you know, with these things, they change the statute of limitations and everything for that reason.
I've done nothing wrong.
Okay. But it's just,
I've offered to take a polygraph. I don't know what else you want from me.
Okay, so you'll take a polygraph?
I will take a polygraph.
Okay. So, 2004, Pasadena Police. He was a babysitter.
Yeah, after they dug into it, they found that he'd been a babysitter for some other people as well and had similar problems. So, that's really funny that nobody's mentioned that to you.
No. It is funny.
It is funny.
Any other information that you want to give us?
so what happened with the situation? You said you went and talked to HPD, and then they kind of didn't really do anything.
They had a unit come out
Mhm.
and
They didn't break it off with this guy, or she's
No.
seeing this guy?
no,
and-
she went and stayed with her mother, who only lived a few blocks away, and my older brother. And they ended up getting together at some point.
Mhm.
She was sneaking over there to see him. Yeah, if I think about his name, I may come up with it, but at this point, it eludes me.
What was your relationship with your brother?
He's dead.
He passed away.
He passed away.
I think if someone we could talk to who was around you and the girls during that time period that could kind of contradict what we're getting, if anything.
What about? I heard you have a relationship.
I have. He's
She sees you on like Father's Day and stuff like that.
not Father's Day. Grown. But I do see her and talk to her. Yes.
Okay. Well, she doesn't want to talk to me for this, but I want to talk to her because I want to get her opinion and her take on everything too. You know what I mean? Do you think you want to let her know that we've talked to us, that you've talked to us, and have her call us?
Want me to tell her to talk to you?
Ask her.
Ask her, don't tell her. Of
Yeah,
course.
tell her, come on.
I mean, it's of her own
again-
free will, but I mean, if she is willing to talk to us, we would appreciate it. We definitely.
I will ask her. I will tell her it's okay if that's what she wants to do, but beyond that, she's a grown adult. She does what she does.
All right. Well, we'll work on getting that polygraph lined up for you, okay?
Okay.
How many sons you have? Just one? 2, 3? How'd you meet?
Her sister introduced us, if I'm not mistaken.
Your sister?
Yeah.
Where'd y'all meet at?
To her sister.
To her
Met at-
sister?
Met at a party.
Oh, at a party? Okay.
Again, that's a long time
time
ago.
ago. You know where I was in 96? 4th grade.
My dad always told me, you don't look that young, neither of you really look that young.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, you know.
I was a senior in high school.
But I can tell you that well, my dad used to tell me that when the cops start, you know you're young, you know you're old when the cops start looking like kids. And more, I am seeing these, damn, look, they look like freaking high school kids out there. It is crazy. Crazy.
You want to give us any information to follow up on your behalf?
Anybody we should talk to that you think could shine some light on this, on what's going on, anything?
You know, at the time this occurred, we tried to isolate the kids as much as possible, simply because they just didn't need to be caught up in grown adults bickering and fighting. And so maybe now in retrospect, that was a mistake. I don't believe the police ever interviewed the kids. They were content to, like I said, to interview me and take do the polygraph. And again, the detective, I'm hoping he wrote it in that file, said that,
We'll follow up and look into it.
I'm just saying,
Because if he did one, there should be a report of it somewhere, so we may have to have.
he
Pasadena
specifically
get it
said
archived.
he could tell had been coached. And this all went through CPS because we had CPS at our place beating on our door, going through, talking to the kids.
And that's another, we'll have CPS dig into the archives and pull their stuff up too, so we see what they have and what they found, what they wrote up. It was investigated by them. Do you remember what their ruling was on it at all?
They went with Pasadena PD. They're the ones that brought Pasadena PD in.
Okay.
So it was
Do you think they ruled
just
it
unfounded.
unfounded, or?
Yeah. Nothing ever came of it. Like I said, after the polygraph, the detective was happy and settled. That was the end of it.
Yeah, and I'm sure, 20 years ago, things were a little different too. And nowadays, just a polygraph alone usually isn't enough anymore. They want us to make sure we do all our due diligence to find out, because, polygraphs aren't a municipal court, you can't use them. So they want to make sure, it's a good thing. We do them, they help a lot.
Well, you know what I know. You can't beat the machine.
Oh, you can beat the machine. There's people
I've
out
never
there
seen
that can
anybody. I've never seen anybody that can beat the machine. But okay.
Yeah, there's people, because it monitors your body sign, the signals.
I know.
So there are people who are really good at meditation, stuff like that. They can control their heartbeat, they can control their breathing. I mean, there's some of the more newer ones, like, which a lot of, I don't know if we can find one that has it or not, but I know like DPS, when they do their new recruit training and stuff, they have one that's got a little pad you sit on. It'll tell if you're puckering or not. That's another part of the things that you can't control. But there's a science to beating them. There is a possibility. That's one of the reasons why it's not allowed in court. So they don't use it, because it can, they have proven it can be beaten.
Well, like I said, I have no objection to taking one. I personally, I don't believe I can beat one, but if you say so, I haven't done anything wrong. So I took it before, I'll take it again.
We'll reach out, so we don't have one on staff. We have to either bring one in, or we use one from one of the surrounding agencies that have one on staff.
Well, they sent me to a private one. The one that they had me take was some guy on Spencer Highway. He didn't do it at the police department. He did it at his office on Spencer.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I know Pasadena now, they have their own guys that do.
most police departments, I think, do it. I think then,
I know we don't, because it's expensive.
well, I think back then he would sometimes come to the PD and do it, and sometimes go to his office and do it. I don't know.
Okay.
Because they weren't sure. I remember when they initially talked about it, they weren't sure about where it would be at, whether it would be there or his office, and ended up being
I
his
looked
office.
into it once out of curiosity. It's like a 9-month training course, and then you have to do so many per year to maintain your license. So it's very expensive, not only just the equipment, but the training and everything. So there's a lot to it. So that's why I think I know Pasadena's got two or three. I think LaPorte has one, and we don't have one. We had one years ago, and they never. After he was done with it, so we're not.
Well, you should call LaPorte and ask them if their guy could do one. I'll run over there right now.
We'll have to schedule it with them and find out. But we'll get it set up.
I trust LaPorte PD. I don't trust this PD,
Okay.
but I trust LaPorte PD.
Okay, we'll try to get LaPorte to do it for you then.
That's fine. I got no objection to it. What else can I do for you?
That's it. Thanks for coming in and talking.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
All right. If you decide you want to arrest me for something, give me a call. I'll come in and surrender.
Okay.
You don't have to come beating on the door. People get hurt that way.
Yes.
Okay. I told you, I'm not trying to hurt anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
So you let me know. I'll come on and surrender.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
I will talk. I make no promises about what she'll do.
Mm-hmm.
So all we can do is just ask.
Both my mom is where I live. I lost my mom in 2003, and my brother that was living there lost him in 2004. So they're both gone. So it is what it is.
Okay, Dave, well, thanks for coming in. Okay, and we'll, as soon as I get that polygraph scheduled, we'll contact and we'll see what works out for you.
I'm pretty available except in January. I've got to go out of state on a court case over in Pineville where the National Guard arrested me.
Where,